Person County Airport. Automated weather observation. 1, 2, 3, 2. Zulu, weather, wind, calm, visibility, 10. Ceiling, 1,400. Overcast, temperature, 20 Celsius. Dew point, 18. Altimeter, 3017.
I guess we need anything else?
Enter twice.
Person County Airport. Automated weather observation. 1, 2, 3, 3. Zulu, weather, wind, calm, visibility, 10. Ceiling, 1,400.
And we want to...
Overcast, temperature,
And when you're
20
done with that,
Celsius.
cut it off,
Dew
because
point.
it's a lot of noise. It's a distraction from other things. So if you want to put Person County in, there are two ways to do it.
Right.
All right. The quick way is go all the way to here, cut the cursor on, hit direct, and enter twice. And then click that one click, and there you are.
Okay.
Or you can just hit direct and type it in.
All right. All right. It wants me to check the DG before we go.
Yep.
And
now, the DG takes several minutes to get up to full speed, so it may process a little bit. The reason for setting it now is so that as you taxi out at a big airport and you're saying, okay, I'm going to use runway 24, well, you've got to taxi opposite 24 to get there. So that gives you some kind of idea of where you're headed and where the runway's going and things like that. Even though you may have to double check it before you take off and it's on the checklist again.
Okay. All right. Test the brakes before we get going. Test your brakes.
All right. All right. Your hands on the throttle. Pull it out. You don't ride the brakes. You ride the brakes, you wear out the tires, and you wear out the brake pads. On your car, when you drive, do you keep one foot on the brake pedal? Same problem. You can. You're going to replace the brakes on your car about twice as often, and you're trying to drag tires, but you can do it, but it's just not good technique. Same thing on an airplane. The airplane may even be worse because you got the propeller pulling not geared to the tires.
I would agree.
I follow people down the highway often enough. They're just sitting there, one foot on the brake, one foot on the gas. They'll let off the brake occasionally, but the brake lights are on is at least half the time.
Run up. Flight controls. Correct. And flight instruments. But now. You hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, because it's cutting out for me for whatever reason.
Okay, so if it's cutting out, go to the big knob up here and turn it just a tiny bit to the left.
Did a squelch thing?
If it's set too high, it will clip your words.
Okay.
By the same token, if it's set too low, you're going to pick up wind noise when we start flying, and you're going to have that constant background white noise.
Does that affect yours as well?
Mine's on this side.
Okay.
So one reason I buy this particular audio panel is because it allows you to independently adjust.
Okay.
That way, if I'd only had one, I could just crank it up. And I could talk normal, and you'd think I was yelling and screaming at you all the time.
All right.
Or I could yell and scream at you and turn it down, and you'd think I was a nice guy.
So these two are supposed to be inconsistent still?
They're close enough. These gauges work with floats. So you literally have a cork float or some kind of float. I guess they don't use cork anymore, they used to. A plastic float in the fuel tank floating in the gas. And as you fill it up, it goes higher, and as it comes down, it goes lower. One of the things you want to see on fuel gauges is them bouncing around a tiny bit. Because if they're not bouncing at all, the odds are something's broken.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and check the mags. And right. Both. Left. And both. Repeat drop. All right, cabin door is locked.
Oh, my side.
All right, we're going to go ahead to the runway. We'll check one more time the DG, the
All right.
engine, fuel quantity, and amp.
And make an announcement.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is taking off. Runway 24, Person County.
Good for you. I'm so tired to hear people say taking the runway or departing. Good phraseology is important.
I guess I learned that in Raleigh.
Well, that's one thing they're doing good for you.
Trust me, it was...
The controllers are supposed to require you to repeat taking off.
Oh, yeah, they do. And they tell you whether you're right or wrong.
If you say you're departing, they say, I forget what they say, but something about we need to hear you say taking off.
For whatever reason, the DG's a little bit off.
That happens.
Weird.
Normal. That's the reason it told you when you crank up, it takes about 3 minutes to get up to full speed. All
Everything
right,
looks in
looking
the
good.
green.
Now, don't sit here.
Okay, sorry. Fuel quantity check.
Yeah, what you want to do is do that as you're leaving the whole line.
Okay.
What you want to be careful about is sitting on a runway, your back's to incoming traffic.
You're right.
Plus, sitting still, you're harder to see by other planes. And we got 2,300 RPM.
All right.
Making power. It's all up to you from here.
Airspeed's in green. And 55, rotate.
Now, I want to qualify one thing. When I said 1,000 foot is a recommendation, that is correct. However, doesn't mean you have to fly at that altitude, but if you can, that would be the best pattern altitude.
All right.
So you, as the pilot, can decide to adjust that. For example, if we were headed that way, would be very shortly, we'd be out from under most of this, or find a big hole and climb up on top of it, or whatever. And those are all your decisions. Once you go above 700 feet above ground, which is where you are right now, our cloud clearance requirement is 500 feet below, to the best of your judgment.
Right. Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning crosswind for runway 24, Person County.
So if you wanted to fly the pattern at 1500, that's your call.
Okay.
And in fact, these clouds are a little bit ragged because we're about to be even with that.
Yes,
one.
we are. So should I dip just a little bit?
Well, you don't want to keep climbing. You know, you've got to realize, hey, I can't fly into that cloud legally. I better do something. Now, think about your engine, your airplane. You know, you got to put the whole package together here. Your motor's sitting there. Help, help! I don't want to go this hard.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning downwind for runway 24, Person County. I am way out. Farmland that I've not seen before.
Okay, well, you know, you fix it however you deem appropriate. You know, just because you made the turn late or a little wide doesn't mean you can't fly back over towards the airport.
Like 45 degrees to the downwind.
Yeah, move it back in where you think it's where it should be. Always have a reason for what you're doing. Don't just ride. Anytime you ride, you're no longer in control. Also, if you get in too tight, you're going to have to either make a U-turn to downwind to final, or you're going to overshoot. The other thing you're doing is you're not paying attention to altitude.
I specifically came down because of the clouds. I guess I shouldn't have come this low.
No.
Okay.
Now, if you decide that's what you have to do, then you can do that. But you also got to keep thinking about what other adjustments. Because we're already 300 feet lower than normal at this immediate place, you don't want to pull the powerway off, because then you're going to get too low further out.
Right.
So if you decide that's the best option, then think about how you're going to adjust for that option. Because what you absolutely do not want to do is get low and slow. Typically, if you get low, you're going to start pulling up rather than adding power. The next thing we know, we're going to be really slow and low, and that's a deadly combination. On the other hand, as long as you make the right adjustments, we're fine. The plane doesn't care that you're 500 above the trees. It only cares how you treat it. Kind of like a woman.
That is like the sloppiest pattern I've ever done in my life.
Okay?
I mean, they're literally, it's ridiculous.
It's up to you.
I'm just going to go around. Ah, shit.
When you go around, it's wide open. We don't play with go-arounds.
All right, so can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So, at this point, should I make a loop this way?
No.
Okay. This left traffic pattern, now I'm lining up for 2-4.
Well, that's true, but that doesn't mean you have to land on 2-4.
Okay.
You can if you want to.
I don't want to.
I don't care. Or you can just climb back up, go out to about the end of runway 24, and go across and come back down on the downwind.
Okay.
So that would make you technically upwind right now. I hear a lot of pilots call the takeoff upwind, but that's not technically correct. Where you are right now is upwind.
So should I make an announcement?
You can. I'm not hearing anybody else talk, so I doubt there's anybody out here, but not to say that that doesn't mean you shouldn't talk, because other people might make that same assumption.
Okay. So it would be Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is upwind for runway 6?
Yes, or you could call, no, you're not for 6, you're for 24. You're downwind for 6.
Right.
And think about your motor. Again, have numbers you're looking at. Motor 2300, works pretty good in the pattern. Going somewhere 24, 2450, maybe even 25 if you're up at altitude, no problem. Down low, there's no big push to go particularly fast. Testing 1, 2.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is crosswind for runway 24, Person County.
Now, as you come around, watch your gauges, watch what's out in front of you. You see, by climbing up, we're now either scrubbing the clouds or only a couple of 100 feet below them. So, you've got to have targets that you're shooting at.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning downwind for runway 24, Person County.
Fly the plane specifically. You decide what you want to have happen and do it. Now, you're flying. You get any closer, you're not going to have time on base leg. You need to be wide enough so you have a base leg to play with. Also, what altitude do you want right now?
1600, but I'm worried about the clouds, so I was going to go.
Well, then decide 14.
14.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
What I'm not okay with is this.
Got it.
If you like 14, I'm good with that.
Okay. Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha turning base for runway 24, Person County.
You're looking a lot better.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning final for runway 24, Person County.
Be careful, don't put that left rudder in so much. When you start skidding the back end around at low altitude, you're maybe not setting yourself up for a stall spin, but you're certainly headed in that direction. Keep turning. Power up just a little bit. Good, that's enough. But remember, don't steer with your rudders up here alone, because when you do, you're fishtailing. And what that does is it slows down a wing. If it's slowing down your inboard wing, you could stall it. All right, now pay attention to your plane. How fast you want to be going right here. Angle to the runway looks okay.
$70. Idle.
More. A little too much.
Yeah, I overreacted to the... It's not as bad as it could have been, I guess. That's not a good... That's not
overreacting is normal. You know, you're still way into the learning phase of this. So pulling a little too much is not at all unusual. Better than planning it level on the nose. But if you see it, the ground falling away, you know, let off about that much. Just enough to slow it to climb. You don't want to ever push the nose past level, because if you do, you're now going to start a porpoise, and that's going to be really ugly. But, you know, if the nose is high and you're climbing and you're fast going up a hill with no power, you're losing all your airspeed. What you need is to bring the nose over just a little bit. Stop the climb, and then be ready when gravity takes over to start using up the rest of your controls.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning crosswind for runway 24, Person County. I was turning a little bit sooner because it looks... I can't judge these clouds as best as...
That's because you don't have experience at it.
I mean...
That's okay.
They look close to me, but maybe not as close as...
They're kind of close. As long as they don't look like they're right level in front of you, you know, I can see under them pretty good.
I'm going to stay at 1400.
All right, works for me.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is downwind for runway 24, Person County.
At Danville Airport, they are customarily use an 800-foot pattern. Have for as long as I've known them. I've never understood why, but that's what they do.
Huh. It's a pretty big city, isn't it?
About 30,000.
More than Roxborough.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 times bigger than Roxborough. Roxborough, the whole county, only has about 30,000. Again, well, you're doing all right. I was going to say, be careful. You're kind of pinching yourself on the downwind. Maybe that we got a little wind up here that isn't obvious.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning base for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning final for runway 24, Person County.
You're picking up a lot of speed. Can't run it at that. Your angles are good, but you can't come downhill at 1,900 feet, 1,900 RPM. You know, I had a little bit of extra power coming around because you started low is fine. That makes good sense. But once you actually are in the groove and coming down, now you got to get rid of it or your speed's going to be way too high. That's going to make your landings a lot tougher. Good. Stay with it. Look closer. Or look further, I mean. Sorry.
All right.
But you had the nose wheel up, man. You're doing good. And you did that good recovery. You know, you ballooned on you a tiny bit, you let off perfect. That's exactly what you're looking at.
Trying to think. I saw that thing you posted in Facebook.
About the landing?
Alaska guy. You see my response?
Yep.
And those tires.
They are. They're called Tundra tires. They only hold about 4 PSI. And that's what they're designed for. They're designed so you land on a sandbar and roll over a log. They're designed to be that flexible. They actually have so little air in them, they don't bounce all that bad. If you pump them up to about 20 PSI, they'd be basketballs.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning crosswind for runway 24, Person County.
Kind of one of the stand-in jokes about flying is you let about half the air out of your tires, your landings get a whole lot better.
Yeah, it's probably not good for the rims.
You see the post Jennifer put on there and what I responded to her?
I didn't see. I don't know if I saw your response. I think I saw what she said. She said, "Can you do that?"
Yeah, my response to her is, "Give me 50 knots of steady wind and a 172. I can do it." The reason he could do it is you heard the wind noise in the camera.
Oh yeah.
The reason he could do it is he could land at about 30 knots, and the wind's blowing about 30 knots. Don't keep hanging in. You're okay where you are. Remember, you got to have a little bit of room. There you go.
Trying to stay away from that smoke, but I guess that's not an important thing.
If it's like a forest fire or something, the smoke will, you'll smell it when you go through it. If it's really thick, in fact, I can smell that.
Yeah.
If it's really thick, it's like being in fog. So that little bit of smoke's not a problem, but you're correct. You do want to be thinking about these things. How are they going to impact me? Now, because you're starting out 300 feet lower, you also want to think about your power management. You may want to just level off out here with enough power to not lose your speed.
Okay.
And wait till you get around.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning base for runway 24, Person County.
The things I worry about, particularly with students, is getting low. Because anytime you low, the real tendency is not to add enough power back in, and the next thing you know, the nose is up, and you're getting dangerously slow, and then there's a low, and from there people get scared they can't bank the airplane, so they chunk in a rudder. Next thing you know, you're upside down in the trees.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning final for runway 24, Person County.
And from here, you're looking really good on altitude, pitch. Watch your airspeed. 1900 is too much. And the reason I know is because we're doing almost 90. Almost had it. Oh, just a tiny bit too much.
Too much float. Dang.
Too much pull, yeah. But you ballooned it again.
Yep.
Might want to look just a tiny bit further ahead than you're looking.
Okay.
Not a lot, but just a tiny bit.
Well, on a positive note, looks like the clouds are breaking up.
Yeah, usually as it heats up, they lift. But that's not 100% accurate.
Yeah, sometimes the opposite is true.
Yeah, sometimes it's a
Humidity.
weather system pushing it, and just gets worse.
Yeah.
Today, what we have is the clouds aren't all that thick. There's nothing much above them, for the most part.
Right.
So as it heats, they will either dissipate and then reform at a higher altitude later, or they'll just gradually go up. If there was a cloud deck above them, they'd probably just sit here.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning crosswind for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning downwind for runway 24, Person County. Well, you can see the wind is pushing it just a little bit cross. Not much.
It actually, look at this smoke as we go by. We actually may be favoring runway 6 slightly.
Yeah, I see that.
Not enough to really make any appreciable difference, however. Doesn't really look like we got much wind up here. Smoke's kind of being lazy.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning base for runway 24, Person County. This is tight. Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning final for runway 24, Person County.
Don't overbank. You're ahead, you overshoot and come back, then you try to crank it around. Nose up a tiny bit. Good.
And we're about 70.
So a little high, so get some power out. Start working it. Don't dive way in, because then you're just going to float, and that's going to be harder. Move, wait on it. You're ballooning way too much, which means that you're probably looking too close. You're starting okay. If anything, you want to start the round out just a tiny bit higher.
Okay.
Not much, but as you see that runway really start to widen,
Right.
which is probably about here, then you want to start to ease it up, and that will bleed off more speed. If you get level somewhere around 55, around 60, and I don't look at the airspeed because I don't have time. I can't, if I look in, if I'm flying and I look in at that point, I'm not going to make the adjustments looking out that I need to make.
The only time I look at the airspeed is when I'm crossing over.
Right, and that's a good place.
And they don't look anymore.
That's right, and that's correct.
Okay.
And then, but if you do that round out just a tiny bit higher and then let it settle slowly to the runway.
Okay.
And you're pulling on that lever, the yoke, to keep that sink rate from getting very much. You want to keep it slow. Angle of attack is how much you pitch the nose up at that point. But if you overdo it, the plane balloons up, but it also, your airspeed goes poof. And now we're sitting 3 or 4 feet in the air with no airspeed.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning crosswind for runway 24, Person County.
And if it drops in from that high, it's going to be a hard landing. Might not do any damage. You get much higher than that, you're going to actually hit on the nose because you can't keep it from pitching back down.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning downwind for runway 24, Person County.
But the clouds look like they're higher. So 1500 probably worked for downwind.
Okay.
Actually, 16 might work okay, but decide what you want.
I was shooting for 15.
Okay, that's perfect. I'm very happy at 15.
Okay.
The other thing you got to understand with this is that when you get that weather report, it's actually only one place on the airport. And I've seen days when there's fog around the AWAS and the rest of the airport's clear.
So where's that one spot?
Right there at one spot. And the trouble is, you know, the only way you know that's to be at the airport and look at it. You know, if you're pulling it up on radar, on weather reports, or you're listening to it coming inbound, there's no way to know it's not that way across the whole airport.
Person County Traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning base for runway 24, Person County. Person County Traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning final for runway 24, Person County. No, it was running a little bit slow.
But don't pitch up too much. Remember that if you're getting slow, you can't pull up, because if you do, you just get slower. Okay, now we're where we want to be, so get the power back out. If you don't do it, you're just going to go really fast, all the way back to about 16 or so. Good. Now, not putting the flaps in without pulling the power is like standing on the brake and the gas. And I should say that sometimes that's what you want to have happen, but if you already got some speed up, then you're actually doing it somewhat backwards. Looking good. Good. Look about 3 to 4 stripes ahead of you. Work it slowly, but keep working slowly, very slow, very, 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 very slow.
Well, I didn't drop the nose.
You did good.
No, I didn't.
Well,
that was
compared. You compared. I didn't touch it.
I know, but still, it's still sea level stuff. I just, you know.
Well, so next time.
I know. We're running out of time, though. What time is it?
Yeah, you got enough to do. Bunch more.
Bunch more.
Yeah, three or so.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
I just don't want to make you late. I know. Pitch. One 172 Papa Alpha is turning crosswind for runway 24, Person County. Person County Traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning downwind for runway 24, Person County.
Okay, so you're really, really close. On that last little bit of flare, just you don't pull quite as abruptly. You want to keep moving it unless you see it starting to go up. If you see it at all going up, freeze. Give it a second or two and it's going to start coming back down and you can continue.
Okay. Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning base for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning final for runway 24, Person County.
Work your feet ever so lightly. All the way. Much. Yeah, there you go. Right, I mean, the lights is trying to come on hard. Just a tiny bit more and they'll be on. Looking really good. Just a tiny, tiny bit too much at the very end. But remember also on your rolling out on final, really nice. Nice altitude, nice angle, airspeed, all that's looking good. And then on that one, as you were coming in, all of a sudden you kind of powered up a tiny bit. We hung up there, came over the end of the runway at 200 feet.
Well, the problem was I was losing speed. I was 67.
Pitch down.
Okay. Okay.
If you got altitude to play with.
I guess I didn't.
When you are losing speed, power is a good answer, but if you then pitch up, you don't gain speed.
You're right.
You're.
I didn't think I had that much altitude, so I guess that's I didn't judge well enough.
Well, again, when you rolled out on final, you were dead to rights. I mean, you're 500 feet up, you were the right distance, you had everything looking really good. Just keep it coming pretty much down that same plane, that same sliding board.
Okay. Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning crosswind for runway 24, Person County.
Now, if you've got it there and all of a sudden you see everything rising, now you got to pitch up, but you're also going to have to add power. But if you hold the same pressure and add power, the nose will come up on its own accord because it's blowing air over your elevator.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning downwind for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning base for runway 24, Person County. Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha turning final for runway 24, Person County.
Pay attention to pitch control. At the power you got, we aren't going to go uphill. See, this is great, other than the tendency to pull up a little bit on base leg. but you may have needed to stop coming down on base leg, in which case you add a little power, then you can adjust pitch. Now they got to go together. It's just like driving a car up a hill or down a hill. They got to go together. Now, running pretty fast, but you're also coming in low. Pitch up a tiny bit. See over the end of that runway rising slightly?
Yep.
So adjust your pitch, adjust your power if needed to maintain speed. Let her come on down, you're doing good. Work it slowly. Or all the way out. See, that power just ballooned you. You're actually doing better. You aren't ballooning as much. Still playing with it. That's okay. Some days I don't care what you do, you're going to end up playing with it. But you didn't go way back up that time.
No. Your appointment here in Roxborough?
Yeah, it's on the north side of Roxborough.
So one more or two more?
At least one. We'll see where the time is on that. I'm thinking two more will probably work, but...
Well, I don't want to push it.
Well, I'm allotting 30 minutes to get there, and it really shouldn't take more than 20, so...
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning crosswind for runway 24, Person County.
Clouds are getting thinner.
Yep.
Right here.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning downwind for runway 24, Person County. It amazes me how fast tobacco grows once it gets old. Really? I didn't pay attention.
Oh, there's a field up near my house that probably a week ago, maybe slightly longer, there were about 4 leaves and it was about 6 or 8 inches tall. It's almost 2 feet tall now.
Wow. Like kudzu.
Pretty close. Kudzu outgrow most anything I ever saw.
I know you probably hear it growing at night.
That's it. Stare at it long enough, you can see it.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning base for runway 24, Person County.
The thing about it is it's about 90% water. And if you try to cut it like for hay, the leaves, literally in an hour, a couple of hours, or half a day, dry out to the point they're nothing but dust.
Person County traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning final for runway 24, Person County.
Okay, so your angle's good. Just kind of point the eyeball toward the 1,000-foot point. Keep them steady. And control airspeed with power from here. So you're looking good. If you see the end falling way down or rising, then you need to make an adjustment.
I see.
But right now you're fine.
I was going to say, I see 1,000 foot right in the center.
Yeah, just keep it aimed for the 1,000 foot. Just like you're doing. Airspeed's good. Remember, walk your feet tiny bit with the ailerons. Looking good. Starting to back out of your power a little bit. Tiny bit high. Looking okay. Everything's rising right about the 1,000-foot point. Good. Power coming all the way out. Don't let the nose drop. Just keep it steady. Very, very slowly. Keep working. Oh, whoa. Very slow. Very slow. Keep working. Pull some more.
Too fast.
Yeah, it's still carrying a little bit of speed in.
I went down too much. That's what picked up my speed.
Yep.
It's obviously my fault. I saw it happen.
Okay, then you know what to do next time.
Yeah, it's like,
well,
I overcorrected,
No, what happened is when you pull the power off, you lost the air over your elevator. The nose drops of its own accord. You may not have actually let off. You may have just not put a tiny bit more pressure in it to compensate for less airflow over the elevator.
No, I'm trying.
But you can see it, now you know. So now we just keep working with what you see happening. You put that into your thought, well, that's maybe going to happen. I don't want to overcorrect for it, so I don't want to jump too hard, but I also do want to anticipate.
Right, and I was so bad about coming in flat.
That's right. And your angle coming in is nice.
I got rid of the flatness.
That's it.
And now I go down.
Now you got too much to work with, but that's okay. That's a better problem. Believe me, that's a safer problem.
Okay.
But because you're steeper coming in, we can get the power out sooner. And that will start to bleed the speed off a little more.
Person County Traffic 172, Papa Alpha is turning crosswind for runway 24, Person County.
Well, I got a good feeling about this one. No pressure, just telling you.
This is the last
good.
one, that's why.
Just telling you you're going to do good.
Person County Traffic 172, Papa Alpha is turning downwind for runway 24, Person County.
Work your feet with your hands. Yeah, it's much movement. It's a time almost just to pressure your big toes. But if you don't do anything, the nose tends to do this.
Right. I don't ever like to think in terms of toes because that means I'm going to touch the brakes.
Now, if your heel's on the floor.
Oh, I know, but it's like...
I like the fact you're thinking about that. So I have people that land with the feet up on the brakes.
No, my feet are on the...
That's bad news.
No, my heels are on the floor for sure. I always think of it as the arch of my foot.
And you're right. Believe me, if you were on the brakes, you'd be hearing from me on that one.
I kind of thought so. I usually hear about it in run-up. Person County Traffic 172, Papa Alpha is turning base for runway 24, Person County. Any more lessons today?
Late this afternoon, assuming that
weather doesn't get bad.
Weather doesn't get bad, and I've also got to go to the eye doctor. And they're going to dilate the eyes, and it takes a while to get over that. And think about this pitch. Now, if you're feeling the need to pitch up, you probably need some power.
Right. Person County Traffic 172, Papa Alpha is turning final for runway 24, Person County. Right.
Looking good. Here, just a straight line to the 1,000-foot point. Then back your power out to control it. So you're pitching up ever so slightly.
Yeah.
That's slowing our sink rate. We want to keep that sink rate about 500 feet a minute. Again, not a magic number. It just works out pretty good. A little high, so start getting out of your power. Looking good. Pitch up a hair. A little bit more. Work it from here. Getting close. I mean, you're literally, you know, we're now polishing the shine up. Let's go one more.
Sure. All right. You can use me as the excuse. Too late. Tell them that I was just weird. I was trying to fix things. I do. So, again, I don't want to hit hard, and
You're doing all right.
No, but I think that, you know.
Well, you're not hitting hard. It's a good thing, but it's not the thing to really concentrate on. It's kind of the negative thought. You ever heard you can't motivate somebody from the negative?
Yeah.
And it's quite true. There's one of the best stories about that. Was I think one of the World Series games, and I forget who was playing who, but had the last batter up, had like, you know, score was, team pitching was 1 run ahead, there was 1 guy on base and a guy batting. The pitching coach called timeout, walked out to the mound and said, well, this is so-and-so, whatever you do not throw him low inside. So the pitcher's sitting there, okay, don't throw low inside, don't throw low inside, don't throw low inside, don't throw low inside.
Dude.
Low inside, low inside. Guess where he threw?
Low inside.
Home run. If he had just said, throw him a high outside.
Yeah. Person County Traffic 172 Papa Alpha turning downwind for runway 24. I mean, I guess my thought process is smooth and
good.
Angled.
Yes, and that's it. That is what you want to concentrate on.
Constant angle.
And then nice, easy motion when the round out.
Yeah.
And then the more experience you get, you know, when the days you fly and you get wind shear, you'll be ready for it. So what we have today is actually a beautiful day to be practicing this stuff.
Oh yeah, winds. I can't complain about the wind for sure.
Don't crowd yourself. You're in at least cup 300 or 400 feet tighter than you need to be.
Yeah.
Now the other thing is consistency. The more consistent you are, the easier it is to judge the fine tuning. The more you do stuff off the wall, the harder it is to get a good result, because your brain's starting from a different place, it's not used to.
Person County Traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning base for runway 24, Person County. Person County Traffic 172 Papa Alpha is turning final for runway 24, Person County.
Work those feet slightly, barely, but
Watching the buzzard.
pitch down slightly. Yeah, you got to be careful. You start pulling that nose way up in these turns, you're getting a high angle of attack. If you need to make a slight adjustment, that's fine. Just be careful. Looking good.
A little slow.
Touch your power, nose down. Back your power back out a tiny bit. Backing the power out slowly. Don't drop the nose. Don't drop the nose. Power all the way out. Don't drop the nose. Don't drop the nose. 2 stripes. 2. Only 2.
That was better.
It was a lot better. I told you, you're right there.
That was good. I'm going to end on a positive note.
You see, every time you start pulling that power out, you let the nose drop.
Yeah.
Now, you're probably pulling the power out for airspeed, but when you let the nose drop, we keep the speed.
Yep.
We don't lose it. It may pick it back up, but what we now do is accelerate coming down. If you keep the steadiness of the pitch, which is a change in pressure in your hand, but it's steady outside, then the power now compensates for speed.
I definitely prefer ending on a positive note.
That was a good one. Just file that one away in your head. Think about the pitch control on coming in on final, on the short final.
Right.
And just keep it steady. Don't let it dip on you when you pull the power.
I should have taken B.
All right.
But I saw that guy, and I was like,
yeah,
I want to.
That's kind of his private deal there.
Yeah, I didn't want to freak him out.
Yeah, he doesn't really like people as
Facing him.
It makes sense to me you'd go in there, but he kind of sees that as his private domain. So.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't go. Because I would have done it, and then you'd have told me, don't go there.
I mean, I doubt he'd say anything, especially to you, but he might say something to me. Even stuff that I have no control over whatsoever. If I've ever even spoken to the person, he tells me about it.
So this trip you're making, is it business or pleasure?
Next week is business.
Oh, okay.
It's a charter.
Cool.
3 days.
Wow.
That's unusual.
Sounds like fun.
Well, if we didn't have this virus thing, it could be a lot of fun. It's down to Tallahassee.
Well, Florida doesn't believe that we have it anymore.
Yeah, I know. Watch it.
Is that too close?
Getting close.
Oh, sorry.
Remember, the back end swings when you swing. It swings the opposite direction. I need to get Bill to move that ramps somewhere better, or at least move it closer to the edge of the. I just got a fear one day somebody's gonna swing in and almost get there and stomp on a rudder, and tail's gonna whack it. That'll do it.
Is that good enough?
Yep, that's good enough.